Welcome everyone to another episode of T-Shirt Cooking. For today's episode, we will be once again using a Krusteaz product. Today it will be the cinnamon swirl crumb cake and muffin mix. We won't be making the muffin mix, we'll be making the crumb cake. I briefly looked over the ingredients in the back, and the first thing we're going to do is we will preheat the oven to 350 degrees, non-convection bake. And I have the ingredients lined up here. So we needed 2/3 cup of water, we needed a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and we have 1 egg over here that I've already cracked open, and I spent a few minutes pulling out all the shells with my finger. When visiting the store, I had no intention in buying this box. While I was there, I noticed that it was just under $4 and there was only 2 boxes left. Therefore, I opted to purchase both boxes. And worst case scenario, I'll figure something out with it if I don't like the mix that we get. We're going to open the box in real time because we all know what happened with the cookies when I opened the box in real time. I should have probably inspected this prior. Let's see what we get here. And just to make sure, it says there's 3 packets. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So we have the crumb cake mix and the cinnamon topping. So we're gonna put 2 of these away. And we will only use 1 and 1. These could go away somewhere. Doesn't matter. All right, now I believe what we need to do is we need to put the cake mix and all of these ingredients. Admittedly, I threw the box all the way into my living room and I don't want to remove the mic and undo all the wiring to go get the box. But if I remember correctly, that's the first thing we have to do. So we have the oven warming up, and now we will put this cake mix and we'll blend it. And now we will proceed to blending. When blending, it's very important that you scrape the side wall to make sure you get all of that extra mix that isn't mixing properly into the mix so it could mix properly. It's all about getting the right consistency and proportion. Remember, proportion is everything. Moderation, proportion, consistency, it's everything. Determination. We are now at the assembly part, and this is where we will try to make a cake in the 8x8 pan. Now the mix looks something like this. I don't know if we could get a zoom on that. The consistency is, I'm not really sure what to compare it to. Some sort of custard, maybe. Now I'm assuming to make the cake, I'd probably put half of this and maybe half of the cinnamon, and then maybe the remaining half, and then the remaining half of the cinnamon to make the layers. I'm not really sure if that's how I was supposed to do it. I should probably read the instructions, but that box is way too far right now. What we will do is we'll add some Pam spray. I got this can for only 99 cents at the dollar store. It's probably the only thing that's still $1 at the dollar store. I guess I could use a napkin to maybe spread this around, but instead I'll use my finger and I'll just spread it around all the edges like that. Remember to always wash your hands when you're in the kitchen. Even if you're not cooking, just wash your hands when you're in the kitchen. Your kitchen sink is the dirtiest place in your entire home, even more than your toilet bowl, hopefully. Or maybe not hopefully, but that's just the way it is. I mean, think of all the things that go into your kitchen sink. I don't even know if any of you cook or if any of you bake. Maybe you just watch my videos and you don't cook or bake. I don't know. I don't even know who watches my videos, really. Everybody just tells me they watch them, but nobody watches them. Okay, now that we thoroughly greased the walls and surface of the pan, I'll attempt to apply about half of this, maybe like this. Maybe this seems like about half. I really hope this mic is on right now because I'm not filming this a second time. This will be added to the currently 8 videos that I have that were all big messes that I just wasn't able to upload. Hopefully this will not be the next one. I'm trying to spread this around. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. We carry on. We always just proceed. We will prevail. We're gonna fast forward all of this. We will definitely not play this. Okay, I attempted to make some sort of base layer like this. I can't hold it for too long because it's sliding down. Now we're gonna slide it back. And I'll now put maybe, I'd say half the cinnamon. Maybe I should do it with a spoon. Should I do this with a spoon? I don't know if this is just pure cinnamon or if there's some sort of mix. I'm definitely not spreading this out correctly. This is not being spread out. There was for sure a better way to do this. This is not correct. Look, here at T-Shirt Cooking, no one ever said that we know how to cook. We just cook. That's what we do. We cook, we talk, we discuss. It's always a good time here. I'm having a great time right now. This is my favorite part of the day. All right, we will now add the rest of the batter. Someone needs to remind me to stop making these videos at around midnight at night because I'm way too fatigued to be doing this. All right, I decided that I wouldn't be able to just pour it all on top and that I would have to instead spoon the cake mix because I realized that there's a layer now. However, now that I plopped it on top of the spoon, I realized that there's no real way for me to mix this. So I'm back to square one. There's an easier way to do this. I'm positive. This was never a tutorial of how to do it. This was just a we'll do it and we'll see what we get. This is a real account of what people go through when they're trying to make pre-made stuff. I feel like Edward Scissorhands right now. Such a good movie. First time I watched that movie, it was November 16th, 2014. I remember the exact date that I watched that movie for the first time. Good movie. I was on narcotics at the time. It was post-surgery, and I decided I was gonna watch that film whilst I'm recovering from said surgery. Good times. I'm gonna now try sprinkling the cinnamon on top, seeing if maybe sprinkling will give me some sort of better result. So the sprinkling didn't work. So instead now I'm just using this butter knife to spread it. Look, whatever it is at the end of the day, whatever we get as a cake, that's what we're having. And that's just too bad. Okay, so the mix looks something like this now. Oh, it's leaking to one side. I could only hold that for so long. Looks something like that. Put this in the oven now for maybe 40 or so minutes and we'll see what we get. We are now back. I've pulled the cake out of the oven. It was about 40 minutes to cook and I think it's fine in my opinion. I don't think it's undercooked or overcooked. I thought I had the camera running, but what I ended up doing was waiting about 5 to 10 minutes. And then I decided to cut it up in sort of maybe squares using this spatula. When I first pulled it out of the oven, what I first did though was I went around and I just sort of did that on the edges just to make sure that it doesn't stick. And it hasn't stuck. I mean, I could touch the whole base and it's perfectly fine. The cake itself, I haven't tasted it. There isn't really a layer. Turns out that I don't really know how to layer. I'm sure there's an art to it. I don't know. We're gonna take a bite and we'll see what we get. It's very late at night and I shouldn't be eating at this time, but you know, we do it for the channel. I like it. This is good cake. Very sugary. Would definitely be good with ice cream or something. Maybe icing. I'm looking in the middle now. Maybe I could have cooked it an extra minute or two, but I'm not really sure if that's how the texture is supposed to be. Spongy, I think. I'm not really sure if that's even the right adjective. But anyway, that's the cake. It's getting really late. We're gonna wrap up this video. Thank you guys for watching. Do I recommend this? Absolutely. For under $4, I can make 3 of these. I mean, absolutely, I recommend it. It wasn't that difficult. I don't know how to layer, but clearly it doesn't really matter that much. We're gonna wrap up all this. We're gonna take some photos and I'll see you guys next time.